Living history, World War II stories as told by those who were there.
In 1941, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. 10 hours later, across the Pacific, they attacked the Philippines, clearing the way for an overwhelming invasion of the islands. U.S. forces, including 10,000 Americans and 60,000 Filipinos, pull back to the Bataan Peninsula. And with their backs to the sea, they're trapped. After 4 months of fighting without supplies, starving American and Filipino troops surrendered to the Japanese Imperial Army. The Japanese take the weakened soldiers on a brutal 60-mile forced march. Men who fall out of line are bayoneted or shot. 15,000 perish on what would become known as the Bataan Death March.
The surrender was April 9th, and I was captured for 14 days. I was on the march for 10 days. About the fourth day, they got us up and on the edge of the road and gave the signal to start walking, start marching. And so we knew we were off to somewhere. We didn't know where, but and it wasn't but an hour or so. We started walking along the main road, going back up the Bataan Peninsula. This is the first day on that march was hectic, not knowing what's going to happen. They started stopping us individually and going through our pockets and seeing if there was anything that they could get that they wanted or take away from us and get some satisfaction out of that. So we virtually ended up with nothing. Our canteen, they didn't take our canteens. I don't know why, but then it became more difficult to get water. There were, what you call it, artesian wells along the roads because of the rice paddies, And we were thinking, geez, when we got low on our water, we could just go to the wells. So look, no, that was not permissible. And I saw so many of our guys that were just dying from thirst. They'd break ranks and go to these artesian wells and literally stick their heads under the well and get a good drink of water when the Japs would come up and start bayoneting them, and then finally shoot them in the head, kicking them off to the side of the road. That happened so many times. And I know in one case, my case, we were marching along, and one of the kids next to me, he started stumbling, and I knew he was pretty bad off. So I grabbed him, and the kid that was on his other side grabbed him too with me. We were both literally carrying him along, almost dragging him because he could hardly walk. And then he started saying, "Put me down, put me down, put me down." He said, I can't go on, I can't go on. So we looked at one another, and, if it was hurting him more to be dragged along and dropped along the road, why, I guess the best thing to do was to take him over there. So we did, and we just stepped out of line, out of ranks. And the next thing I knew, I was just seeing stars. I don't know, I couldn't tell you what happened. But when I came to, there were two guys dragging me along. And I said, "What the hell happened?" So one of the Jap guards saw us step out of ranks, and he came up with his rifle butt, banged me on the back of my head, and that literally knocked me out. But this guy that was carrying, one of the guys that was carrying me, said, the two of us were able to grab you. We had to let the other guy go, but we grabbed you and pulled you back in the ranks. So I said, what happened to that kid? He said, he was shot. You know, and that was not just one thing, one of a kind thing either. That happened a lot of times. And from that point on, I was starting to make up my mind that they never even heard of the Geneva Convention. And that if there is a prisoner of war camp, God help those that make it, because it's not going to be fun at all. I just started thinking about a way to get away, escape. And the roads were lined pretty much with bamboo windbreak they use for windbreakers, you know. And I thought it's going to be tough squirming through the bamboo thicket, but better that than to die on the highway. And if I could get into the rice paddies, and there was rice growing, thank God, rice in the fields, up about 3 or 4 feet. I figured if I could get through the bamboo, scoot along the dikes, you know, into the rice paddies, and take my time about it, don't jiggle the rice and attract attention or anything, I might be able to get away. And I got scratched up going through the rice or the bamboo thickets, but I got out to the paddies and I crawled, maybe 5 or 10 yards in, and then I just laid there. I felt I was far enough away that if they weren't looking, they couldn't see me from the road, and the bamboo thickets would block some of the vision anyway. And I lay there for, I don't know, it seemed like forever, but maybe an hour or two, and then I couldn't hear anything from the road anymore. So I started crawling on the rice paddies again. This was pretty close, about mid-afternoon, I would think. And I heard some voices from behind me, and I thought, oh my God, after all this, I thought it was the Japs, you know. And so these 2 young boys came up and saw me before I saw them. And they said, hey, Joe, it's okay. We're your friends. I thought, oh, good God, thank the Lord, you know. And they said, we're taking you to Satarina, to a Catholic convent over there. The nuns have agreed to take care of you till you can get your health back. Mm-hmm.